Me, Ivo, I was just reminded of the effect we create in Lightworkers' lives. By continually reaching out in videos, newsletters, on our website, in our blog, we provide information to Lightworkers to help them in their work, but one thing I sometimes forget is that we're kind of like a voice calling out to lonely Lightworkers who are surrounded by everything but what they desire to have around them. I can really relate to that. I've built my life that way as well, especially since I was 40. The more I woke up to the fact that I was different and began to accept it, the more my gifts came online, if you want to call it that, activated. Resistance to the truth of who you are will shut down your spiritual gifts faster than retail doors at closing time. Having worked retail, I know how quickly those doors close when the clock hits quitting time. By the way, the store manager still has to stay another 15 minutes to count the till and close out the shop for the next day, so please stop hammering on the doors thinking you need to buy something. Come back the next day. Cut them a break, okay? They've only been standing for hours and are dying to sit down. You don't know how many retail workers I know, including myself, who have developed leg problems because of standing too much. The problem for Lightworkers is we're spread across the globe, strategically located, I've heard, to hold light for our areas. The energy of a Lightworker can span a 100-mile radius. So your energy is helping to wake up people within that span of light, perhaps even longer. If you direct energy to other parts of the world, you can assist in their awakening as well. The reason so many people are waking up to the truth of the deep state now is that we've been holding light for all these years. The human body is a receiver of energy, like a lightning rod, and we've received energies constantly from our home planets, higher dimensions, and from any being or beings who've wanted us to do so for them. And I might add, including God. It's not for no reason the deep state/dark ones want to keep your energy low. You'd be less effective and serving them, not the light. So we end up in situations feeling like a fish out of water. I was clearly the different one in my family, in my friends' circles, workplaces. Even the spiritualist church I attended to study mediumship. Everyone was of lower consciousness than I was. I know why now, but at the time I couldn't figure out why people behaved the way they did and why I always hated it. I just want to say, face it, we took on a job that not that many people would sign up for. Maybe they would out in the galaxy, because they are about love and helping others, but here on Earth, from the perspective of a physical human, nobody would want to go through what we do. Loneliness is a hard thing to bear. And the stigma of feeling different from everyone else is hard to take. Now I'm at the point where I'm glad I'm different. I would not want to be in their shoes, knowing what I know about Earth now, no way. The other thing we have to remember is, we're always doing work. From the time we're born, to the time we die, we're being used to advance the light on Earth, whether we realize it or not. So if you're 80 years old and just waking up now, it's because you're supposed to. You never understood what was going on Earth before because you were still working on waking up. It took me a long time too. I was 53 when Ivo started to talk to me. The fact is, I believe at that time, it wasn't necessary for Lightworkers to be consciously awake to the extent it is now. Now I believe it's important for Lightworkers to be consciously awake and to use their minds to create change. Back then, I don't think it was so necessary. Some knew. Your Timothy Leary's, the hippies knew, Malcolm X. I believe was also onto what we know now. We're part of the mass awakening, and that's okay. It's all timed. It's all good. The other thing about us is that when Earthlings close their doors to us, demand that we behave as deviantly or abhorrently as they can do, we instinctively will turn to our pets, or nature, to find solace, and this is the correct solution, again. I can hear Ivo talking. LOL, this is what you need to do, to connect with the nature matrix and to leave the artificial alien-made matrix behind. I get far more out of sitting near the water, looking at trees and ducks, feeling the energy and the wind on my face than I do watching a TV screen. I don't even own a TV. I get far more out of connecting with nature because that's why, because I can connect with it rather than having another wall put up in front of my face, such as when I talk to most humans. I don't connect with them, I connect very well with nature. Trees can talk telepathically to me, so does my cat or people's dogs. They sound like children, by the way. We search for things that satisfy us, we search for connection, and we'll find it in sometimes unusual places, but usually it's not with other humans. That's been my experience, anyway. Next year I plan to buy a house and walk away from society. Other than food shopping, or buying essentials, I have no interest in going back to the city. I have had this dream all my life, just dropping out and walking away. And I'll do it too. What I find to be very true about the life of a light worker is, it's in what you give, not what you get. And you will end up giving a lot of forgiveness, I've found. A lot. When you change your focus to giving to others instead of expecting to receive, you connect with your soul. Your soul is the giver, your personality was trained to be the taker. I still switch back and forth. Right now my super is coming over to fix up my apartment, and he seems to take issue with the fact that I put on a size since COVID started. First of all, it's none of his business and certainly not his place to dictate how I should look or what I should eat. When people take up that position in my life, I usually rebel by eating in front of them the very foods they think I shouldn't be having. I did that to my mother years ago because she wanted me to be a vegetarian like she was. So I made her watch me eat a steak. I'm looking at my super from the standpoint of what he's giving me, not what I'm giving him. When I look at him from the standpoint of what I can give him and forget what I think he's supposed to give me, it works better. I've learned to be pretty self-sufficient anyway. But I thank him for helping to install my air conditioner. Unmet childhood needs can sometimes stretch far into adulthood to ruin our experience of life. I find light workers can have a lot of unmet needs because we don't fit in and we resent ourselves because of that. So we have to think of another way to experience life with satisfaction, and that's by assuming the soul's way of seeing things. Without being controlling, focus on giving. Yes, set boundaries, but focus on giving if in fact the only thing that you can do is forgive, because that's what it's for, forgiving. This is the soul's way, not the personality's. So my super is doing something that really angers me, expecting me to look a way that suits him, as if it's his business, which is an absolute violation of my boundaries and ridiculously controlling, but all I can do is continue to forgive him every time I think of it. And that is what I can give to himself and to myself. I find looking at Earth life as something to give to you is the wrong way to see it. Look what you can give to it, and I think, personality notwithstanding, you'll feel more satisfied living here. Your personality has to learn to set limits with others who might think to bleed you dry. I've had that experience. There's a difference between letting others help you and developing a dependency, and I'm very wary of those who appear to be doing so. I'll help you. I won't run your life for you. Your life was given to you to run, not to me. So, healthy boundaries intact, I feel it's tantamount that you learn to give. And you get to decide what and how much you're going to give. If you allow others to tell you what you're going to give to them, you're being controlled, and this is a violation of free will. I don't go to church, but if I did, the mandatory 10% would be modified according to what I can give. When I see Roman Catholic church buildings or even Anglican churches and I see my monthly pay, I know who's getting too much money and who isn't getting enough. When you become authentic, you will be able to see these things clearly, and you'll have the kahunas to say no to control and manipulation of you and your money. You decide how you're going to spend it. You decide what you're going to give to the Lightworker community, you decide. It's your life, you're in charge of it, not others. I've had people run the "you're not unconditionally loving" manipulation on me, and that's what it is. It's a manipulation, designed to make you feel guilty for not giving them what they want. Don't fall for it. I'm unconditionally loving or I wouldn't be here, neither would you. But living unconditionally is not something we can afford right now. You have to have healthy boundaries to be able to do your work. Ivo, this is correct, my love. Your guidance as to what you are to do comes from your soul, not from outside of you in the form of others. Me, I've discussed what I'm doing with you and Ashta, and the direction Implant Communications takes is up to us, not to anyone on earth, and specifically not to anyone the Dark would send to mess up our work. Ivo, that must also be taken into consideration. This is why internal guidance and support is necessary. Me, I can't wait to get you on lives and you can answer everyone's questions. You can talk all the science you want with them. I won't have to understand what you're talking about because generally I don't anyway. Ivo, I would love to teach your people our science. Me, okay, then, I think that's the message for today. Focus on giving without being taken advantage of. Steer your own ship, be in charge but give. If all you can do is forgive, then do that. Live as if your soul were on earth. Ivo, this is a wonderful message for Lightworkers, my love.